Did you know the pause is the most underrated move a high achiever can make? Stopping to look back is not the same as slowing down. It's actually one of the fastest ways to accelerate. Hi, I'm Coach Tony, and this is Ask Coach Tony. These are unfiltered field notes from the goal-crushing life, coaching wins, personal breakthroughs, and the failures that taught both me and my clients the most. All real, all useful, all here to help you move forward. Before we dive in, here's a groan-worthy dad joke as a little palate cleanser. I promise it will be worth every penny you paid for it. I walked past a man who just kept repeating 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That's odd. Last week, Nikki told us something that stuck with me. When she shared her goal-crushing system, she didn't just say set smart goals. She said set smarter goals, adding 2 steps that most people skip: evaluate and realign. Those 2 steps are what March is all about for us. Through the rest of this month, Operation Melt is focusing on the pause, process, plan framework we will use together at the March Goal Crusher Coffee Chat. Here is something I have noticed about goal crushers like you. You are really good at moving forward, setting the next target, locking in the next goal, staying focused on what's ahead. That focus is your superpower, but it's also your blind spot. When you only look forward, you spend all your time measuring the distance between where you are and where you want to be. That gap can feel enormous. It can quietly drain the energy you need to close it. Author Sullivan calls this living in the gap in his book, The Gap and the Gain. Sullivan explains that high achievers tend to measure themselves against an ideal that is always just out of reach. It just keeps moving. You keep chasing, and no matter how much progress you make, it never feels like enough. The antidote? Flip the measurement. Instead of measuring from where you are to where you want to go, measure from where you started to where you are now. Sullivan calls this living in the gain. When you measure the gain, progress becomes visible, and visible progress, that's fuel. Stopping to look back is not the same as slowing down. It's actually one of the fastest ways to accelerate. When you take an honest look at how far you've come, a few things happen. You remember that you are capable, that you have already done hard things, that the progress is real, even when it doesn't feel that way in the grind of a random Tuesday. You also get clear on what is working and what is quietly running out of gas. That clarity is exactly what makes the next move sharper. That's why Nikki baked Evaluate and Realign right into her goal system. Not as a nice to have, as a non-negotiable. Because goals never get reviewed are goals that quietly die. As someone who's currently training for my next half marathon, I can personally attest to the value of rest days in the process. They aren't just days off. They're how you avoid burning out before you reach the finish line. Here's the good news. You don't have to pause, process, and plan by yourself. The March Goal Crusher Coffee Chat is built for exactly this moment. First quarter timeout, pause, process, plan, March 27th, 2026 at 10 a.m., a free online event. In this session, we will take an intentional pause to take an honest look at how Q1 went. We will process what is working and what is not. Then we will start to plan a clear, intentional path forward into Q2. This virtual coffee chat will feature an informal roundtable discussion where we will each answer one simple question. What is one thing you're proud of from Q1 and one small shift you want to make in Q2? If you are ready to turn your first quarter successes into second quarter momentum, this conversation is for you. Click below or visit operationmelt.com/coffee chat to save your spot for this free event. The goal is not to push harder every single week without ever looking up. The goal is to move forward on purpose. And sometimes the most intentional thing you can do is stop, look back at the ground you've already covered, and let that be the thing that launches you into what's next. You're here for a reason. Let's take the next step.